Greetings and welcome, this is Grapie. First off, a huge thank you to Frogmine for letting me be part of the creator program. You can go into the shop, scroll all the way down and enter my code Grapie, and that's it. Any purchase you make after that, a percentage of that will come towards me. So that would be really helpful. That's it for the announcements. Now on to the video. Today's video is primarily focused on Giganticore. Those who are not familiar with Giganticore, let me explain what it is. Back when they added Core Lightning into the game, they also secretly added Giganticore in the game. It was supposed to be a secret boss monster or a boss clone for anybody who can accidentally find it, and players found out about it within 3 days. So good job community, doing great. And since Frogmind has revealed about Giganticore in their previous video, I can talk freely about it. So how do you get this new special clone? So unlike any other clone, this does not have a clone card, meaning you cannot throw it right out of your tower. In order to summon it, you need to have 3 specific clones on the bridge, and they need to be your own. You cannot use your opponent's clones. So you need Core Lightning, you need Core Freezer, and you need Core Bomber. All 3 of them are unreal, so acquiring them could be a bit of trouble. But if you have them, you're in luck. Once you have them in your hand, you'll have to send them out one by one. Since the total cost is 13 mana, you'll have to wait till you have enough mana to send out the rest of the clone. Once you have them on the bridge, you will see electricity coming out of them and a weird sound effect playing in the background. That is to indicate that your summoning ritual is correct, and it will take a few moments for the Giganticore to land on the field from the top. Regardless of how you send out the clone, they will always arrange themselves in this arrangement. Core Lightning at top, Core Bomber at the bottom towards the tower, and Core Freezer at the bottom away from the tower. So what I like to do is to send out Core Bomber first, since it has the most amount of HP and it lasts 30 seconds on the field. And then send out Core Freezer followed by Core Lightning over the Core Bomber in this fashion. In my experience, this is the quickest and most reliable way to summon the Giganticore. So what does Giganticore do? It slowly walks towards the enemy tower, shooting icicle and mini bombs every 2 seconds. It has a blizzard surrounding it, so any clone that gets within its range gets frozen, and it shoots lightning at really long distances, so any clone that tries to shut it down gets zapped immediately. With its 300% health buff, the Giganticore is extremely tanky and it's really difficult to move back. Before you could kill it with just one wildfire. Now, even if you use the wildfire along with the fireball, the Giganticore will have almost 1/3 of its health left, making it almost impossible to kill a Giganticore in an event or friendly matches. So how do you deal with this clone boss thing? It's not quite easy, but there are a couple methods that you can use to deal with it. The easier way to deal with it is to not let your opponent summon the Giganticore. So that means you can destroy the clones that are used to summon the Giganticore before it is summoned. That is, you can use fireball, arrows, fireballs, or anything to disrupt their combo. Freezing them while they are in the process of summoning the Giganticore will stop the process for a little bit, but soon as the effect of freeze runs out, the Giganticore will be summoned. During a match, the Giganticore can be summoned once, but the process can be repeated any number of times until you summon the Giganticore. So if you manage to block it, does not mean your opponent cannot do the process again to summon the Giganticore. But if you manage to freeze them while they're in the process of summoning and then destroy the Core Lightning, they won't be able to summon the Giganticore. So carrying an icicle in the deck is pretty useful, especially in events. These tips will help you stop the Giganticore shenanigans before they begin. But what happens if your opponent actually summons it? How are you supposed to deal with it? Well, there is not many options that you have if your opponent manages to summon the Giganticore, since it's so massive and has such a big health pool. You can temporarily disable the Giganticore using the anti-gravity, but it will still be able to shoot the lightning bolts. If you only have the mind tech, you can use it to capture the Giganticore, but you'll have to make sure that the Giganticore is close to your tower so that it does not zap the mind tick in the air while you're trying to capture it. So you'll have to let the Giganticore close into your tower, and then when it's close enough and close to your ramp, you can use the mine tick to capture the Giganticore. Make sure you time the slaying of the mine tick after it shoots out the mini bomb, because you don't want to capture that, and you only get one shot at this. If you fail, your tower is done. But there is one really good thing that you can do. You can freeze the Giganticore using the icicle and then capture it using mine tick. And now you give your opponent the taste of their own medicine. Make sure to aim it lower to its body, somewhere close to its leg or the torso part, because if the mine tick is attached high enough, the tower can shoot it and they will claim their Giganticore back. But just because you claimed it does not mean your opponent cannot take it back. They can use their own mine tick, or they can fireball the Giganticore and kill the mine tick, and hence negating its effect. So just hope that your opponent is not carrying another mine tick or fireball, which they will if they are watching this video. Giganticore is not that easy to summon, as there are many different ways the opponent can take out your other clones that are required to summon the Giganticore. So you'll have to come up with a deck that bait out the Giganticore counter, and then you can start summoning the Giganticore. And the best way to do it is to have something tanky in your deck to bring out the firebirds or fireball or anything that threatens your summoning ritual. On top of that, if you do it in the last minute when you have double the mana generation, it's much easier to perform the ritual and summon the Giganticore. And if you don't have the required clones to summon the Giganticore, you always want to have something that can counter it, because there is no direct counter to the Giganticore. You cannot play a particular clone that will just... You cannot play just one single clone that can just counter it. You'll have to figure out a way to do it. So I would advise keeping Icicle. Icicle is a really good card because it can just freeze the Giganticore, and then you can think of something to deal with it, or just do as much damage as possible while it's frozen. Or you can just do the fancy play and freeze it and capture it with using the mine tick. So yeah, that's it about Giganticore. They also mentioned runes that are in the game. These are specific new mechanics, and they can be applied to only clones that are maxed out, and they can completely change how a clone is played and how it behaves. So definitely game changer, and yeah, I'll be making a video on that. It will be a lengthy video because there are so many different runes to cover and so many different combos that they can do. I'll try to be brief with that. And before I forget, I want to give a quick shout out to another Badland Brawl content creator. The channel name is Badland Brawl, and he makes really good quality content. Two of his new videos have captured my attention. One of it is Art of Defense and the second one is Balloon Tutorial. You guys should definitely check it out. It's a Russian channel, so most of the time it's Russian, but every now and then he'll upload some in English translated using a translator, and also does Badland Brawl compilation videos. So definitely go check that channel out. And also one more thing I forgot to mention in the beginning. If you click the link in the description that takes you to the download page of the game, you can get a crystal egg to get a head start and get some mythical clones. If you're a new player, or if you're an old player, it just doesn't hurt to get new clones. Overall, I like that they added something so unique to this game that people tend to either enjoy or sometimes hate because it's too strong, but I like it. I like how it gives you a different win condition. Rather than just trying to blow up your opponent's tower, you can just try and summon this thing and it will do the blowing up thing for you. That would be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and that's about it. I'll see you guys next time with another video. Till then, this is Grapie signing out.